Hi, Sheila here. I'll be guiding today's experience using the breath as an anchor. So the breath is not a comfortable place for everyone. So if it's not for you, then perhaps you can use sensation in the body along with the breath to join us. So we'll begin by finding a comfortable seat and letting the eyes lower or close. So everyone has their preference. Keeping the eyes slightly open sometimes is a different experience. It kind of trains us and our mind to find some stillness while we're still taking in images and sensations from our surroundings. So there's a lot of benefit to that practice as well. But if closing your eyes really feels best, then do that. And then once the eyes are closed, it's nice to take a little bit of inventory, how it is that we've come to sit, and what can we do to feel more upright, more relaxed, and yet more awake. We want to be present to the sensations that arise. So creating a seat that's alert and comfortable is really significant. So beginning with a few deeper, round or longer breaths, allowing each breath to kind of bring the spine into alignment. Noticing if you can relax your shoulders as you allow the crown of the head to rise in the direction of the ceiling. And you may notice some opening in the chest when that happens. Sometimes we just sit with our shoulders rolled forward, so we kind of collapse through the chest. So maybe bringing the shoulders up, back, and down, stretching the head towards the ceiling, bringing the chin in and back slightly. We have a little more length in the front and back of the neck. And it's helpful to use the breath to encourage this openness, this lengthening and relaxing. Noticing any tension or tightness in the belly. That's a good place to begin noticing the breath. So imagining there's a balloon in the belly and you could fill the balloon as you inhale. Letting the air out of the balloon as you exhale. Draw the belly button in and back just a little bit. And with a few more breaths, you can let the breath move up into the upper chest a bit. So a nice sense of expansion, creating that space. Easier to sort through things when we have a little more space in the body and in the mind. Gives us a little more time to respond. And sometimes it's good to notice what we can let go of. certain amount of effort to hold our bodies in an upright position as we sit. But sometimes we engage more than we need to. So see what you can release without compromising the alertness. As well in our minds, what can we release? So give ourselves permission to let go. Be generous with that and friendly towards thoughts that have come along. You may notice there's a judging mind always turned on. And there is nothing inherently wrong with that. It's an opportunity to notice. And of course, in that moment of noticing, we turn towards the breath as it's unfolding right here and right now. It's really impossible to have a connection to a breath that happened yesterday or that will happen tomorrow. So as you sense the beginning of the inhalation, the moment it becomes the exhalation. Maybe a little pause before the next breath begins. All of that awareness is right here. Sitting in the comfort and the safety of the moment. Just allowing ourselves to be captivated, focused upon the rise and fall of each breath. And where in the body is there some movement, some response to this natural process of breathing? And then we may notice we've been engaged in a little story, a little narration, some distraction that's blossomed in our mind. And at that very point of noticing that, there is an opportunity to release and to return to the feel of the next breath. Being kind and understanding that this cycle will keep repeating. The path back to the present moment through the breath just becomes more well worn, more familiar each time we notice the distractions in our mind. Looking for the feel of the breath, perhaps on the upper lip, as the breath draws in and out through the nostrils. Or on the sides of the body. Goes back. We generally focus on the chest in the front of the body, but the whole rib cage is shifting just a little bit with each breath. The in-breath, the out-breath. And of course, the more rhythmical and smooth the breath becomes, the easier it is for the nervous system to pause, to let go. So the practice is about observing what is, just making space for as many thoughts and stories and ideas as there are today. And then making our way back to the feel of the next breath. Noticing any impatience with that process, any desire for it to be different than it is. Just noticing that as well. And at any time, noticing if you have kind of collapsed in your seat. If there's some small micro movement, something mindful you can do to realign, reconnect with the feel of the breath, a sense of relaxation in the shoulders, the neck, the face, the eyes. And then we'll take a couple of more breaths and just pay some attention to the sound of the bowl as it chimes, following the sound with our awareness. taking care to open the eyes slowly. Maybe a nice deep breath, reacquaint yourself with your surroundings. So I offer these practices in the hope that they become part of your daily schedule. Some of us are out and about more than we were several months ago when I began these, but maybe we make time for it every morning and or every evening, or when we're about in our days, that we get mindful of how we're walking, how we're speaking, where our hands are on the steering wheel, or the feel of our feet as we're walking somewhere. So it brings us present, gives us a rest from the stories, the projections into the future, the attachments to the past. So that's how it goes. I hope everyone is staying well and cool, and I'll look forward to speaking with you again next week. If you have any questions at any time, please either email me or contact the Community Center for my information. Happy to answer any questions that arise as we all embrace practice.